Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Next coming at you with a modern perspective on the BNR announcement today. The much hyped, anticipated first annual BNR was a dud. For Modern, they made no changes as far as bans, so no One Ring, no Orcish Bowmasters. They instead chose to unban a relatively low impact card in the form of Preordain, a card that was probably long past due to come off. They also unbanned Mind's Desire and Legacy and made some comments about the various formats. Modern, by far the longest, we'll kind of read it verbatim and then kind of go from there. So, Preordain is unbanned. A lot has happened in the Modern since our last Pro Tour level event, which also took place in Barcelona 4 years ago. During that time, various strategies rose and fell, more changes were made to the BNR list. We released Modern Horizons 2 and Modern transformed into a more interactive format. Whoopee! Recently, our third set with Direct Modern Legality and Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth released to set the stage for the Pro Tour that occurred last weekend. Early buzz was that the One Ring, being a powerful colorless artifact, was showing up in different decks, with Orcish Bowmaster picking up steam shortly after. Surprise, surprise, it's a counter to the One Ring. When the metagame preview of the Pro Tour was showcased, it was initially concerning. While the metagame share of decks is in normal ranges and relatively diverse, bull crap, Scam was 20% of the meta. The play rates of the brand new cards in the One Ring and Orcish Bowmasters as the number 1 and number 2 cards respectively is something we rarely see in high-level Eternal tournaments. Last Pro Tour, Hogak, cough, cough. As we watched the tournament unfold and had many conversations with players, both competing in the Pro Tour as well as attending MagicCon Barcelona to play Modern, much of our concern subsided. A variety of decks were well performing, games and interactions within these games looked healthy. We saw some amazing matches over the weekend that were textured, interesting, and interactive. Tron mirrors? Question mark? While it is true, the two cards made big waves of the Pro Tour and within formats, these cards, particularly the One Ring, can fit into a variety of decks and spread of macro archetypes to comfortably compete within the format without overshadowing everything else present in Modern. It's been a month and a half. What do you expect? Games can frequently be decided by One Ring in play for multiple turns, but the bar for 4-mana cards being too strong in a format as powerful in Modern is high. Not many games are quickly decided by runaway from the One Ring or Orcish Bowmasters, allowing players to play longer interactive games of back-and-forth magic. I must have witnessed Urza's Saga recurring haywire might to take care of the One's Ring about a dozen times, which begs the question, who is the real hero of the story? Not Wizards' design team. That said, while we aren't taking any action against Lord of the Rings, we do want to be clear that those cards are on our radar. Despite the healthy tournament results and seemingly being plenty of wiggle room to explore further in the format, the upcoming regional championship qualifiers, play rates of these cards are still high. We'll be monitoring the long-term fun of One Ring's play patterns, especially given its ability to be looped or reset and repeatedly enter the battlefield. Similarly, Orcish Bowmaster has done substantial work to suppress 1-toughness creatures in the environment to the point where Ragavan Nimble Pilferer isn't seeing much play in the format outside of Rakdos Evoke. Yeah, because you done neutered Izzet Murktide. So why are we unbanning Preordain? While it is not something we do often, we are interested in finding card opportunities to reduce the size of the Modern ban list when we believe it will make the format more fun and provide players with more options. As I noted at the top, a lot has changed in the last 4 years, ever since 2011 when Preordain was banned. Preordain and Ponder were originally banned due to the amount of consistency they provided to powerful Izzet combo decks, Storm and Splinter Twin. Oh wait, Twin's a 4-mana card. Guess the barrier for entry is not that high. But those who have seen multiple bans since. There was a vision to make Modern a slightly slower format where it was not so frequent the players were dying to their opponent's combination of cards within the first 4 turns of the game. On average, Modern is a lot more interactive now, in part due to the Modern Horizons sets. It was a goal of those releases to offer powerful options to stop your opponent's combos and play longer, more interactive games. As a result, we believe Preordain will do more to boost fair blue decks rather than simply increasing the consistency of combo strategies. This is also part of a goal to give something back to Blue-Red Murktide, which was one of the more popular decks in the Modern metagame between the releases of Modern Horizons 2 and Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth, but has since fallen out of favor in part due to the release of Orcish Bowmasters. So, they're keeping an eye on the One Ring. they're keeping an eye on Orcish Bowmasters. They unbanned a relatively harmless card that can maybe increase Izzet Murktide's consistency, maybe help bring back something like Storm, maybe help out something like Jeskai Breach. But overall, leaves Modern in a bit of a rough place. It's still a one-ring Orcish Bowmaster arms race. You still, to a large degree, have to have 4 copies of the One Ring to be competitive if you're not a deck like Team of Rhinos, Living End, or Burn. Also, I guess Hammer has started to adapt. So the format is adapting. Whether it will be enough to dethrone the One Ring as arguably the most played card in the format, kind of hard to say. That said, Modern's still got a feeling out process. I mean, even a couple weeks before the Pro Tour, you were still seeing new decks like the blue-black control deck popping up. Now, granted, it's playing both Bowmaster and the One Ring, so, you know, there still is some evolution in the Modern format. I did some work with some other decks that have not been seen on camera, but has been somewhat seen on camera, but in the form of Niv Mizzet, Bring the Light Niv Mizzet, and a Boris Winota deck. Both of those were okay, fine, competitive, but not like top tier or anything. So there is room for brewing, as Aspiring Spike always shows. But the format is the format. Whether you were happy with the announcement, unhappy with the announcement, you know, both those cards are on their watch list. Preordain's a new tool to play with. So the format got a little bit of a shift, but in the end, it's probably going to be much more of the same that you've seen, at least up until the new fall set comes out in a month or so. But at max, you'll have 1 or 2 cards that impact Modern usually. So as far as what's going on with the channel, we have the Quick Hits series that we've been working on. That is a short deck guide or short deck tech for a deck, explaining how a deck works, playing a match or 2 showing how the deck works. That's kind of what we're going to be working on. We still have a myriad of decks we haven't covered with our a little bit more in-depth deck guides that we did for most of the top tier stuff. We'll continue to work on that. We also have the MTG Nexus Red Burn channel that has a new video coming out here shortly. I still have a few backloaded leagues to work on that. And then, obviously, we have the Pioneer and the Arena channels. Those won't be going anywhere. But there will be a new project coming out soon that's going to kind of tie everything together in a way, long-term at least. But for now, you know, I'm going to be doing a little bit briefer content. You may not see as much League play. Instead, you're going to see a little bit more of the deck guides and the quick hits kind of stuff, or the top 5 lists that we haven't done yet for this month. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for kind of the tie-in with a new project. And I appreciate you all for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you like Modern content. Hope to see you for our next video.